My name is Michelle. Welcome to my channel. Before I get started, I gotta tell you, I'm having such a bad skin day. I mean, I'm about, I don't know, a week away from that lovely time of the month, and my skin is just completely rebelling against me at the moment. It's not attractive, at least I don't think it is. Anyway, moving along. The purpose of this video, I have a product that I'm super excited to go over with you. I got it in the mail a few days ago, and I'll be honest with you, I used it once, I filmed a video with it, and I wasn't completely sold on the way it turned out. I am so excited to show you this product just because the company that makes this product, I only owned one other product from them, and I fell in love with it as soon as I used it. I heard other YouTubers rave about it, and I purchased it on a whim for my birthday this past month, and I'm really enjoying it. So first, let me show you that product, and maybe some of you guys own this as well. This is the first one that I bought from them. And again, that's the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette. But the product I have today that I want to go over with you is the Melt Cosmetics Smoke Sessions palette. Now, this one, again, just came out. I mean, it dropped on their website. It was like a limited early access type of thing where you had to have a password to buy it. And I'm extra, so I did that. I got it actually fairly soon after I placed my order. Okay, so there it is. This is what that palette looks like. And you've just got some really pretty green shimmery shades, and then you've got like a matte green to go with those shades. And then on the opposite side, we've got these really gold type of green. I don't even know how to explain them, but they're very pretty. And I am a sucker for green eyeshadow. I love green eyeshadow. It might have something to do with the fact that I do have green eyes, and I feel like it accentuates, depending on what shade of green you use, it can really accentuate green eyes. So when I saw this palette come out, I was super excited. Now, with the theme of this palette, obviously, it's not hard to tell what the theme is. I'm not a smoker. If I was, I wouldn't be putting it out there for everyone to know about, but I'm not. And it has not, you know, that has nothing to do with why I purchased this palette. I like the color scheme, and I know that Melt makes really good quality shadows. So with the look I did the other day, I did these four on one side, and I did those four on the other side of my eye. I did one, you know, a different look on each eye just to test them out to see what I thought about them. Now, if you've noticed, there aren't any transition shades in this palette. You have your two matte darker shades, and then you've got your shimmer shades. So when I first saw this and did my first video, I ended up pulling out this palette to kind of supplement that. In all honesty, this here is a good supplement to these. At least I feel like. Actually, all of these, except for maybe the ones up here in the newer palette. But the last four, all these down here, whoops, all these here, and then in the Gemini palette, those really complement each other. So I had a really hard time not using the Gemini palette when I was trying this out for the first time, because I needed a transition shade. I have a hard time not using one. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to the video. I'm just going to prime my eyelids with some P. Louise, and this is in the shade Rumor 0.5, and that's this right here. I know most of you have already heard about this. It's kind of blown up all over YouTube, all over the internet, and I actually really enjoy it as well. I think that it's good for, especially for pigments and making your eyeshadows really pop. So that's what I'm going to use for this palette. I'm just going to kind of get my brush saturated with that base. So, just like that. And you know what? I need to get my mop out of my face. And I just got it in my hair. That was smart. That was brilliant. I tend to do things like that. Let's go ahead and apply this base on my eyes. I'm just going to scooch forward. And the other good thing about doing this first is that when you're done, oh, that was way too much, Michelle. When you're done, you can kind of clean it up with your foundation and such. That way you don't have this stuff all over your eye, because honestly, this color's a little bit light compared to what I probably should have gotten. It's hard to tell what you're ordering when you're ordering online, though. You don't really know what the colors are going to be like when you get, get to using them in person. As you can tell, I do have really hooded eyes. My eyelid sits right on top. It makes it really hard to do eyeshadow in some circumstances. Usually it ends up transferring everywhere, especially like glitters and stuff. But, you just gotta work with what God gave you and make it work, make it happen. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? I am 35, so the older you get, the more problems I'm gonna have with that. It's just the way things go. What do they say? When you get older, it's like gravity, pulling everything down. Well, guess what? My eyelids were going first. They're drooping to the floor. Okay, so now that I have my eyelids properly covered in that P. Louise base, looking like a complete weirdo. The brushes that I usually use are the Morphe M506 and the Morphe M507. I think I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do both sides. I'm going to start on this side. It's my favorite side. It's just that shade of green, the shades of green, they speak to me. You know what? I might go ahead and swatch these for you guys. Let me do that first. I'm a sucker for swatches too. Like, I gotta know. I gotta know what it looks like when it's swatched. They're just pretty. They're beautiful. So I had never even heard of Milk Cosmetics until I believe it was Swayze Morgan on Instagram. I saw her post a picture. I believe she was wearing one of the palettes, I think the Gemini palette, and she was raving about how good it was. And, she's amazingly talented anyway, so the look she posted was good on her. And then I was watching Raw Beauty Christie, I don't know, some days later, and she was raving about the Gemini palette. And I thought, what is all this hype? So I went on their website, I saw what it looked like, and I was like, dang, man, that's my palette. Those are my shades. And I ordered it for my birthday. And I'm not regretting that purchase. It's a beautiful palette. And these are not single swipes. I did them several times to get them built up for you. Those are the swatches for that palette, for this Smoke Sessions palette. How pretty are those? I'm going to head and go in with Sour Diesel. That's this dark green right here, this kind of brownish green. So I'm going to take that, but very lightly on the outer corner here. And I don't know how much sound, is being picked up from outside, but I do live right on a road, like right near a highway as well. So you might hear some trucks and stuff traveling back and forth and some background noise. I do apologize. Not a whole lot I can do about that. Oh yeah, that's dark. We're getting smoky up in here. That was bad. It's the only kind of smoky I'm getting these days. Now using this smaller brush allows me to just to stay right in the central area. If I had a bigger brush, it would just be more blown out. It would be kind of all over the place. And I don't really want it to be, not yet at least. I gotta dip into this Gemini palette to blow this out a little bit. I'm gonna have to. I don't want to be looking all crazy. I don't need any help with that. Okay, so I'm gonna take a bigger, fluffier brush. This is the Morphe M573, And yeah, I know it looks dirty. It's not. It's not dirty. It's just stained. Well, it might be a little dirty. if I'm being real. Okay. And I know this probably wouldn't be, you know, I'm not really doing a tutorial here. I just wanted to see how the shadows work. So I don't feel too bad about using this other palette. Oh yeah. We're getting super dramatic with it. I think I'm going to go into the shade Mochi. That is this shade right here. It's this really, well, I think it's pretty, but it's kind of like a puke green color. I want to go into that to blow out these edges here to make them a little softer. We'll see how that works. I don't know how I feel about that yet. It's a little much. Damn it. Let's just try to work with that a little bit. I don't want to give up on that quite yet. Maybe I can blend that out with something. It's worth a try. If I take a little bit of the shade Leo, am I gonna regret this? No, let me take a little bit of Fire OG. Okay, that's this one right here. And just try to blend together the two that I just did, because I feel like there was too much of a shade jump and they're not blending as seamlessly as I would have liked them to. Maybe this will help a little bit with that. And maybe it won't. Maybe it'll look like total garbage. Who knows? Guys, I am so glad that most of the Black Friday and Cyber Monday stuff is over with. Like, that was very nerve-wracking to get, you know, bombarded with emails and notifications on my phone every 5 seconds, and it's like, oh my god. You guys ever, like, thrown something in the cart, like from Morphe, and if you don't buy it within, like, 15 minutes, they send you an email, okay? And it's like, bye, babe, bye. And it's, like, so much pressure. That's not right. Pressure people like that. Feel like you're almost obligated to buy it. Like, you ain't hurting their feelings, trust me. They're getting their money. Well, that did darken that up a little bit, I will say that much. Holy bejesus. I'm hoping this comes together at the end here, because right now it's looking a little sketchy. I am not a professional. I don't claim to be. This is kind of what I do for fun. This is my hobby. If I could start over and go to school for this kind of stuff like 10 years ago, or even 15 years ago, I would totally do that. But right now I'm a business student in college, and I'll be going into, well, I'll have my first degree this December, so for me to kind of switch career paths at this point would be it would be hard to do, and it would be, unless I was going to have my own business, I think it would be kind of money wasted. So, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, anything's possible. I'm so sorry that I sniffle on camera like every 5 minutes, but it's something about this house or this room. I don't know if it's dust allergy or I really don't know what it is, but when I come into my room, my nose is running. And I just don't have that many tissues to be blowing my nose every 5 seconds. I might have to wipe that part away because that's kind of getting on my nerves just a little bit. This is my funky eye. This is the eye that I damaged while I was in my chemistry class in high school. I splashed concentrated ammonia on my eye, had the entire class freaking out, had my professor freaking out. I'm pretty sure it was the first time he's had to use that eye washing station. And, you know, when it happened, my lab partner, she thought she couldn't understand what was going on because I was trying to catch my breath because the fumes took my breath away and my eyeball felt like it was on fire. So she's laughing and carrying on, and, you know, my professor's freaking out, and it was a mess. I had to go to the emergency room and have my eyeball flushed, and it burnt my eyelid. And ever since then, this eye has just had issues. Well, my vision is worse in this eye, for one, because I did get it in my eye. I had crystals forming on my actual eyeball. That was not fun. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. But yeah, because of that, I do have like this little flap of skin right here. And it's weird. It's like it makes my eyeshadow a little funny right there. So that might be what happened. I'm really not sure. I think we're just going to continue going on with it though. Okay, I think what I'm going to do now, I want to take this color that's called Granddaddy. That's this one here. I want to take Granddaddy and put it on the inner part of my lid because it's a super pretty color, but I want to do a cut crease, so we're going to do that. We're going to attempt to do that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not an expert at this, so don't judge me. I'll do the best I can. So when you have a hooded eye like I do, you really gotta, I don't know, kind of compensate for that funky eyelid. Like you have to put it up a little bit because if you don't, it's just going to transfer anyway. I have not perfected this technique yet, but I'm going to one day. Probably not today. And then I'm just going to kind of blend the edges of that into that dark green with my finger. Maybe. So now I'm going to take that color Granddaddy, again, that's this one here, and I'm going to put that on the same brush that I did my cut crease with. We'll see how that works. If that doesn't work, I can use my finger. The finger is usually best. Oh, hello. That kind of applied right onto my lid. That's a super pretty color, like gold green color. Okay, I'm gonna use my finger now for to go back on top of that, just because it just adds this shine that you can't really get with a brush. I mean, I guess I could if I wet my brush, but why do all that when I can just use my finger? And you'll see what I mean, what it does when you go back over it with your finger. See that? That's so pretty. Okay, so far that's what we got. I think if I throw on some lashes and fix this eyebrow, it won't look too bad. Pardon me. And why does it tell me when people add to their stories on Facebook? I need to fix that. I don't really care. I'm not trying to sound cool, but I don't care. So we're gonna go ahead and move to the other side of the eye. Okay, I had a lot of purple on this brush. Look how many purple in this look. Although I do like to mix green and purples. Be looking like Barney. I love you. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna dip into that color Space Queen. Now again, I'm going right above my natural crease to darken that area. Make it appear like my crease is up a little bit higher. That's all makeup is. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all illusion and magic tricks. That's what makeup is. You can really change someone's entire look. I mean, you can completely alter someone's features with makeup. Now, as far as the quality of this palette, I think it's very similar to the Gemini palette that I have. And, I mean, I'm not disappointed in the purchase. This palette does run, when I bought it, it was $48, which is a little pricey. I mean, you're getting 8 shadows, so... I'm kind of digging the way that's turning out. I like that. Okay. I shouldn't have rubbed that off like that, but that's what I do, guys. Alright. Not too shabby. I'm kind of digging both sides, to be quite honest with you. They're both very unique, very different. And again, if you don't have the Gemini palette, I apologize. I know I probably should have just done just the Smoke Sessions palette, but I felt like on this side I needed to add a little something instead of just having it that really dark greeny brown and blown out. And then when I got to this side, I was like, you know, let's just try it. I've never done that before. I'm not exactly hating the way that it turned out. It's just different. I'm not used to it. So I think what I'm going to do now is just put on the rest of my face. Put some eyebrows on, try to look a little bit human, and then I'll be back with my final thoughts on this palette. Okay, so this is the finished look that I came up with. And of course, I know I look extremely weird. I've got one eye done one way and the other one done with different colors. This is just the look that I created with the Melt Smoke Sessions palette. I feel like the quality of the shadows are really on par with the Gemini palette. I feel like it's pretty much the same quality. I do find a little bit of difference in the shimmers. Like if I compare the shimmers in the Smoke Sessions palette, I feel like they're just more soft. They're a lot softer than the ones that I found in the Gemini palette. The ones in the Gemini palette were a little more glittery. And in the Gemini palette, there's only 2 shimmers to begin with. So in the Smoke Sessions palette, you have all but 2 shimmers. And I mean, I don't know if you guys can see the texture, but look how, I mean, some of them are coming up out of the pan, or at least they were when they first got here. And they're just really soft textured. Like if you run your finger over them for a swatch, I almost felt like I was going to take off like a chunk. But that, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean they're good or they're bad. It just means they're soft shadows. I happen to like them. I think they applied very nicely. Of course, you know, this eye I really don't, it's not my favorite look. I think I covered up some of the outside here when I put my foundation on. Actually, it looks like I did that on both sides, but it's really not, you know, not bad. Would I wear this stuff out and about like this? Probably not. I would probably do it a little bit more toned down. I just wanted to kind of see what I was able to do with them on camera for you. So on my face, I mixed like 3 or 4 different foundations. Reason being, first of all, the first one I put in was the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Hydrating Wear. And I don't know if you guys can see this shade. It is not my color at all. And I put like 3 pumps in. So after I did that, I realized I was going to have to add a lot of lighter shaded foundations in order to get it to match my skin tone. I do feel like I did really well getting it to match, but I had to put in a bunch of this, which is the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear, and this is in their shade 90 Ivo N, and I feel like this is their like lightest shade. So of course I mixed that with this. I also mixed in some of the Becca Skin Love foundation. I mixed some of that in there, and I feel like there might have even been one more. Oh, and I also threw some Cover FX Power Play foundation in there too, because this one is also light. So I don't know. I'm struggling today, guys. You guys gotta forgive me. After I put my foundation on, I used the ColourPop No Filter Concealer underneath my eyes, and this is in the shade Fair 04. And then I set my entire face with the Too Faced Peach Perfect Setting Powder, which I always use. After I did that, I did my brows, which I'm going to be honest with you, took me a very long time. I have no eyebrows. They're very thin, very sparse, and it took me forever to get decent looking eyebrows. I did use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade Medium Brown, and that's this puppy here. Let's see, what else did I use? I used the Give Me Brow or Gimme Brow by Benefit, and that one is in the shade 3. And then I also did my blush. I used the Milani blush, which was Romantic Rose, that's 01. This is a really pretty blush, at least I think so. And then for my highlight, I went in with Ofra, their Star Island highlighter, and that's this one here. This one is beautiful. And then for my lips, I received in the mail yesterday a little set of mini lipsticks from Bite Beauty, and I used the shade Saki. And that's it. Oh, and then for my eyelashes, I used the Milk Kush Mascara, which I love. I feel like it does a good job giving me lashes when I really don't have much. I'm not very good at applying fake lashes, so I have to rely on a mascara to do that for me. So this is the finished look. So are any of you guys planning on purchasing this this Smoke Sessions palette by Melt? Like I said, I do feel like it's good quality shadows. If you like green eyeshadows and you're willing to spend the little bit of extra money for the quality, then this is a good palette. I do suggest this. And if you do have the Gemini palette, this is a good supplement to this palette. It gives you a little bit more shimmers to work with because again, the Gemini only has the 2 shimmer shades. So that wraps up my review for the Melt Cosmetics Smoke Sessions palette. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave some comments down below. Let me know what else you'd like to see from me. If you'd like to see some more reviews or anything in particular, anything makeup, beauty related, I got your back. So let me know. Let me know what you'd like to see. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.